Good day, everyone. For today, I will be discussing about speculative fiction. What does it mean when we say speculative fiction, especially when it comes to literature-based reading? So, by definition, speculative fiction is a broad genre encompassing works that explore what ifs, scenarios beyond the boundaries of known reality. So, beyond the boundaries of known reality. It includes subgenres such as science fiction, fantasy, horror, dystopian, and utopian fiction. So when we say speculative fiction, it uses hypothetical, futuristic, or supernatural elements to examine number one, suicidal issues, number two, human nature, three, the potential consequences of our current paths. These reports delves into speculative fiction's characteristics, historical evolution, and impact is explored in literature-based reading studies. Let's proceed now to the characteristics of speculative fictions. What are those characteristics? Speculative fiction is distinguished by its imaginative departure from reality. Unlike traditional fiction, which is grounded in real world settings, speculative fiction often incorporates number one, we have alternate realities or universes. This means that worlds that operate under different rules or historical circumstances, like for example, J.R.R. Tolkien's Middle Earth, or the alternate timelines in Philip K. Dick's The Man in the High Castle. Number two, we also have advanced science and technology. This means that often found in science fiction, where futuristic technology and scientific discoveries shape the story, as seen in Isaac Asimov's Foundation series, which we can actually search in YouTube or even Google. And we also have number three, magic and supernatural elements. A core fantasy component where magic, mythological beings, and supernatural forces play central roles. Number four, explorations of societal structure. Dystopian and utopian fiction examine extremes of social organization, presenting cautionary tales or ideals visions such as Aldous Huxley's Brave's New World. And lastly, paranormal or horror themes. In horror and dark fantasy, elements like ghosts, vampires, and otherworldly threats are used to explore fear and the unknown. We also have historical evolution of speculative fiction in terms of literature-based reading. So the roots of speculative fiction can be traced back to ancient myths and legends, which serve as early attempts to explain the unknown through imaginative storytelling. Attempts to explain the unknown through imaginative storytelling. So speculative elements in literature gain prominence during the following periods. What are those periods? Number one, we have early modern period, which means that works like Sir Thomas More Utopia, we can actually search that one, in 1516, introduced the concept of fictional society to critique contemporary political systems. So that would be early modern period. And secondly, we also have Gothic literature way back on 18th century. So novels like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein combine scientific curiosity with horror, laying foundations for modern science fiction. And we also have number three, golden age of science fiction in 1930s to 1950s. Authors such as H.G. Wells, Arthur C. Clarke, and Ray Bradbury explored themes of space exploration. So we have number one, space exploration, artificial intelligence, or what we call the AI, and the ethics of technology. And number four, we also have the new wave, way back on 1960s and 1970s. Writers like Ursula introduce the psychological and philosophical depth to speculative fiction, questioning the nature of reality, identity, and society. And we have the number five, contemporary speculative fiction. This means that modern works address contemporary issues, climate change, social justice, and the implications of artificial intelligence, highlighted in novels like Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale, and the N.K. Jemisin's The Broken Earth series. And let's proceed now to the next category of speculative fiction. We have thematic exploration and social critique. This means that speculative fiction offers a unique framework for exploring complex themes and issues, often serving as a lens for critiquing real world situations and fears. Through hypothetical scenarios, speculative fiction addresses these things. Number one, we have technology and ethics. What does this mean? Questions about artificial intelligence, cloning, and genetic modification are raised in works like Kazuo Ishiguro's Never Let Me Go, examining the ethics of scientific advancement. And we also have number two, power and oppression. Dystopian works such as George Orwell's in 1984 critique authoritarianism and surveillance, warning of the dangers of totalitarian regimes. Number three, we have environmental concerns. Climate fiction, a subgenre within speculative fiction, he emphasizes the urgency of ecological sustainability as seen in works like Kim Stanley Robinson's New York in 2140. And we also have identity and human connection. This means that the exploration of alien life, virtual realities, and the supernatural beings challenges notions of identity, empathy, and human connection as portrayed in Octavia Butler's Parable of the Sower. So let's proceed to the next part of the category of speculative fiction, which is the impact of speculative fiction on readers. So, speculative fiction is known for its ability to engage readers in critical thinking and encourage empathy by providing a safe space to explore challenging questions. Literature based reading studies show that speculative fiction, number one, we have fosters imagination and creativity. What does this mean? By breaking the constraints of reality, speculative fiction enhances, number one, creative thinking, and also encouraging readers to envision alternative possibilities and solutions. And number two, encourages moral reflection. This means that speculative fiction's ethical dilemmas and societal critics prompt readers to examine their values and beliefs. Number three, it also promotes empathy and understanding. By presenting diverse characters, cultures, and worlds, speculative fiction expands readers' perspective and empathy for different viewpoints and experiences. And lastly, four, sparks interest in science and technology. Science fiction, in particular, can inspire interest in STEAM fields by showcasing potential futures shaped by technological advancement and scientific discovery. So, what is my conclusion for this? Speculative fiction plays a vital role in literary landscape, allowing readers to imagine, to critique, and ponder the implications of human progress and societal choices. Its ability to address ethical, political, and environmental concern while captivating the imagination ensures its lasting relevance in literature-based studies. Let's proceed now to the next part of my presentation, which is hypertext poetry. So hypertext poetry is a digital form of poetry that emerged with advancement in technology. So it's a digital form of poetry, allowing readers to explore poetic text through the non-linear pathways. So by using hyperlinks, multimedia elements, and interactive choices, hypertext poetry, okay, hypertext poetry, it offers a unique experience, distinguishing it from traditional poetry forms and contributing significantly to the 21st century literary innovation, which I'm going to discuss later on. Okay, so let's proceed now to the key features of hypertext poetry. What are these key features? Number one, we have the non-linearity. This means that hypertext poetry consists of fragmented text blocks connected by hyperlinks, allowing readers to navigate through the poem in a personalized order. Each reader's journey and interpretation can vary based on their choices. So they have the freedom to select or read the poem that they wanted to select. And number two is we have multimedia element. This means that hypertext poems often include visual, there are people who are visual, auditory, and interactive components. So these additions enhance emotional depth and allow for a richer experience that combines various sensory inputs with textual interpretation. And we also have interactive engagement. This means that unlike traditional poetry, hypertext poetry requires active participation. This is actually good in terms of upgrading our poetry from traditional to the modern, as readers choose their paths. So this shift encourages a deeper exploration of themes and meanings, okay, as readers engage with the poem structure and content simultaneously. And we also have implications for literature-based reading. So number one, hypertext poetry introduces new opportunities for literature-based reading by encouraging readers to become co-creators in their reading experience. This interactive approach promotes, number one, critical thinking. Readers interpret and construct meaning through choices, which develops analytical skills and digital literacy. And number two, we have engagement and creativity. Sorry for the wrong order of the number. So, which means that engagement and creativity means multimedia and nonlinear elements make poetry more engaging and can appeal to readers who may find traditional forms limiting. And we also have reader response theory in action. Hypertext poetry emphasizes personal interpretation, making each reading experience unique and encouraging subject engagement. And we also have educational challenges and opportunities in terms of this topic. Number one, opportunities. Hypertext poetry can be an effective educational tool, helping students to explore complex themes while building digital literacy. Its interactive format supports reader engagement and offers new ways to discuss narrative and structure. And we also have challenges. So, what are the challenges of this topic? Hypertext poetry can be difficult for readers accustomed to linear text, and some works may require specific software or devices. That's actually a dilemma now. Potentially limiting accessibility, but I think there are actually a lot of ways where we can access this poetry. Conclusion: hypertext poetry exemplifies how 21st century literary forms in literature-based reading, it provides a dynamic and interactive approach, fostering analytical thinking and reader engagement. Though it presents challenges, hypertext poetry's ability to merge form and digital interactivity makes it an important contribution to contemporary literature. That's all for my presentation this day. Thank you.